What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are outside Gold Sounds in Brooklyn today, and today we are here with The Last 10 Seconds of Life, my good friends.
What's happening, man? How's everything? How you doing?
Oh, it's so awesome to have you here. The last time I saw you guys here was at Gold Sounds with 36 Crazy Fists.
That was a good tour.
Almost a year later.
Yeah, a long time ago. That was also a really good time. We had a blast at that tour. We had a blast at that show, and it's sick to be back here. It was just fun, you know.
Yeah. It's so good to have you here. I feel like this is the perfect time to talk because as we were talking, as I was talking with Monaker, who's now in the bathroom like a little bitch, but you guys got some. Sorry, Mike, I love you, but we got some new music in the works, right?
Yes, we do. We're going to a new album's getting recorded in September. We're going to the Think Loud Studios. Same dudes we usually record with. They're just in a little bit of a different space with a different name, so it's going to be pretty sick. It's just Carson and Grant from Atrium Audio, and we're going to kill it with them, as we usually do. It's going to be sick. 14 tracks.
Awesome. Did he leave anything out?
I think he got everything.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But watch out. I got all the answers.
You weren't kidding with the whole wrestling microphone part.
Dude, yeah. You better watch your fucking back, because I'm coming for you.
But it's cool because the last time I saw you were with 36 Crazy Fists, as I mentioned, and you also got a lot of other awesome things happening, like your festival with Bleeding Through and Devil Driver, right?
Yes, in Texas in October. That's going to be a lot of fun. Ginger's playing it as well. Wretched's playing that. It's going to be sick. So
Dead to Fall.
Yeah, Dead to Fall. I was just going to say, those guys are sick. They hit us up recently. We're ready to party with those guys and have a good time. It's going to be super sick.
Awesome. From listening to you guys, like a lot of people that compare you guys to like maybe like a slam band or a deathcore band or any genre with the word core in the end of it.
Yeah.
I was curious to, I think you're a fairly credible source about your own band. What do you have an idea of what you would classify you guys as? Because you're playing with Bleeding Through, but you play with 36 Crazy Fists. So.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to put the nail on. I guess we're just a metal band. You know what I mean? Like, we're a heavy metal band. We play slam. Sometimes we'll play hardcore. Sometimes there's blast beats. Like, we just play heavy.
I'd say about the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a mix of genre, but for the most part, I would just say a very
just fat
heavy
and heavy.
band. Yeah, has a good time.
Do you prefer to have a certain template that you stick with, and do you prefer to make something really heavy? Do you try to add melody into what you do?
I think it goes both ways. It really depends on the way we feel for the part and just how the song is progressing and how it's rolling through. Sometimes parts call for different things, and melodic parts are definitely something that we enjoy, but we're usually just writing for the aggression, and then whatever happens really.
You mix the melody, and it goes very good with the heaviness.
So the
'Cause
melody
you can
usually
bring it up and you can bring it down.
the melody usually comes second.
Well, not necessarily, but I think they definitely play off each other. I think a lot of our parts, really heavy parts, come because there's melody before or after. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be like this and then that, this.
Now, with the new music that you guys are currently writing, is there a preconceived idea of what you had in the studio, or you're kind of just improvising? How far are you along in the recording process with this?
Everything is not recorded yet. We have all the 14 songs. Pre-pro is ready, so the pre-pro's done. Most of the vocals are done, so we're just about finished there, and it'll all just shape up the closer we get into the studio, which is honestly I think we got a week now, so everything will get finished pretty soon.
I remember hearing about you guys a long time with our mutual friends, and rest in peace to this band, but When Everything Else Dies was playing, and you guys played a lot with them, and with 36 Crazy Fists and everything like that. It seems like you guys do have an awesome fan base. Do you think that what you were hearing from what your fans were hearing from you guys before, do you think are you trying to kind of stick to what you were doing with your previous music, or are you kind of going outside the box with this?
I think we're kind of going a little around everything that we've already done. It's got a mixture of everything, really. This album is a lot like In Vivo and Solus. It's also a lot like Violent Sound, but this album, I think, is more of a dark approach rather than the approach that we were previously taking with the Violent Sound. We're still doing our melodic stuff. It's just not in as high quantity. This album is very mad, if I could put a point on it, really.
Is there a certain meaning that you guys were following to make a mad album?
Shit.
It's just a long, I don't know.
Life
long
is
story.
dark, dude.
Yeah, if you hear something about someone or a significant other, or someone, and you can never look at them the same again. You know what I mean? You always have not preconceived notion, but you hear something about somebody, and then it's sort of how I am with the universe now. I saw it,
negative
the dark side of it, and this album comes from that a lot. It's coming lyrically, and I would say the music-wise too.
Yeah. So from what you were telling me, it almost seems like with everything else in your previous discography that this album kind of sticks out in its own entity in a way, right?
I would suggest, yeah, it definitely would, it reminisces of all of our heavy stuff and whatnot, but it's definitely got more of a darker tone than you've heard more recently anyway.
Awesome. It's cool because every band says this is our darkest record. They would think it sounds pissed off, but you're also incorporating some melody into it. So just because it is a dark record, it's not just going to be purely relentless the whole way through.
Yeah, no, it definitely has its.
It has its moments.
For
And
sure.
I think the moments that are melodic are very melodic, and then
But
the
in a
rest
great
there's
way.
a lot of groove, lot of groove and riff in it. I would say I honestly probably out of any album we've done probably has more riff and groove in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of riff, which is sick. I like the headbang a lot. It's good. There's a lot of headbang in there.
Awesome. And one question I was really curious about is being that you guys are from, where I was cutting my teeth in metal and back in upstate New York, home of, I know you guys originated from Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania, and now you're kind of located in Orange County. Every time I do an interview outside, there's one motorcycle.
Has to be that one guy on the bikes, like that South Park episode.
I don't watch South Park, but
Watch it.
I've never seen that either.
It's an amazing episode.
I mean, I watch it, but I've never seen that episode.
It's good.
But I was curious to how the metal scene was in Pennsylvania. Now that you guys are kind of located in upstate New York, if there was like a scene that you're kind of cutting your teeth in, because I know that the upstate metal scene is actually pretty damn good.
I think it's kind of like just a pretty much a mix and match. It really depends on who we're on tour with. It depends on who's coming out to this show. I mean, PA, New York, New Jersey, all those kids mosh hard. You know what I mean? All those kids are just in there to have a good time and bump heads pretty much. So, I don't know.
Was there like so it's fair to say that there's not much of a difference between Pennsylvania and New York to where you're playing?
I'd say the tri-state is
Yeah.
like a big scene. I
Yeah,
guess
definitely
I'd
more of
say.
a big scene. You get a little bit more aggressive in certain areas, like
But usually the kids all know people know each other that
Yeah.
are from those three states.
Brooklyn. They hit you with chairs and tables. It's sick. Like
New York City hardcore, man.
exactly, yeah. It's you know what I mean. So like you won't get that if you go to other places. Like they still get rowdy. You know what I'm saying? It still gets fucking crazy, but I guess it'll vary depending on how angry the show is gonna be.
Yeah, well, being on how humid it is today, it's going to be pretty angry tonight.
Yeah, no, be very mad. You know what I mean? Kick off your shoes and kick someone.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. A lot of great things are happening. We get new music coming out. You're hitting that awesome festival with Devil Driver and Bleeding Through.
Yeah.
Just when can we be expecting the new music, and what else for the last 10 Seconds of Life?
Hopefully 2000 or early 2019, and if we can get AC in the van, that would be sick.
AC in the van. That
Yeah, I'd say early 2019.
goals
Very
2019.
early.
Yeah, and AC. Those are the goals for 2019.
We won't need it by then.
You're freezing to death.
You know what? I kind of want that after dealing with this.
Oh, dude, that's
brutal
why I
ass-
moved from New York to Florida, because I can't sit in my car anymore like this. I can't. It's so cold. I just want to sit on the
Figure
beach.
you're a metalhead. You're sitting in your car like that anyway.
Okay, touche, for sure.
Exactly.
Now I just sit on the beach like this.
Okay, that sounds pretty weird. But everybody,
It doesn't matter.
everybody, we are here with The Last 10 Seconds of Life. Be sure to be on the lookout for their new music coming very soon in 2019. And be sure to catch them if you're in Texas. Catch them with Devil Driver, Bleeding Through, Ginger, and so many awesome bands. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time, everybody.